when we're in our half butterfly guard position, I'm going to play with a shallow hook. So this just means that, like, instead of like playing with a traditional half guard grip where we go like say hamstring to quad or hamstring to hamstring, we're going to play a little bit further out. So I'm going to tuck my shoelaces behind Ronan's ankle, and this allows me to play like say a long range butterfly, or allows me to play like a closer range butterfly guard, depending on what attacks I want to set up. I put my butterfly hook on top of my calf. I'm keeping my knee connected to say Ronan's shoulder, and I want to reinforce this frame with my left elbow here. My left hand then goes to the far shoulder, and I kind of monitor this bicep. What I'm looking to do is I'm looking for like pressure from Ronan. So when Ronan starts to pressure forward, the first thing I do is I slip my knee underneath his armpit to the outside. So if we just do that one more time, it's a real subtle movement. So knees on the shoulder or where the pec is, I reinforce the knee with the elbow, and I use this cross frame, and then I put my right hand on the bicep. When Ronan starts to push forward, I slip this knee out. Once this happens, I use this to get my overhook. Once I get my overhook and have my knee position, one of two things are going to happen. Either like Ronan's going to try keep pressuring me, I'm just going to like bring my knees to my chest and then leg press to build up on my elbow, or Ronan might feel the sense of danger and he might try to pull his hand out, and this allows me to come up. So if I can reach the wrist, I'm going to grab the wrist and I feed it towards the overhook, and I take this figure 4. I slide my right hip under Ronan's hips, and I drop to my shoulder. So I was up at my elbow. What I want to do is slide my hips forward, and I drop to my elbow, or I drop to my shoulder. I put my right foot to the floor, I drop to my head, and my whole goal here now is to take my hips off the floor and make my hips higher than Ronan's hips. I start to hop towards Ronan, and this allows me to get the sweep into the mount. So I can go straight into the mount, or we can switch off to our triangles, arm bars, depending on what attacks you want to work. So we'll do that again. So again, we're in half butterfly. Knee is on the shoulder, or where the shoulder meets the pec. I'm reinforcing the butterfly hook with my left elbow. Hand goes to the shoulder, right hand goes to the bicep. Ronan pushes forward, slip the knee through. We take our overhook, so this gives us good connection. If Ronan tries to pull away, we use this to build up onto our elbow. I grab the wrist, I feed it towards the overhook hand, so that's my left hand. I scoop my hips forward, and I go from my elbow to my shoulder here. My head goes to the floor. I put my right foot on the mat, which allows me to take my hips up off the mat and get my hips higher than Ronan's. I start to hop, and then we can go into the mount, or we can go into our triangles, arm bars, and so on. So that's that one. We're in our half butterfly position. Our setup is going to be either like say I bring Ronan towards me, and then Ronan starts to move away, and we just slip our knee through the armpit. So again, if Ronan starts to pressure forward, slip that knee through. Once this happens, I take my overhook, and this gives me good connection. So I'm kind of like real speed, it looks like this. So Ronan's pressuring, it's here. So slip the knee through, get your overhook. I'm gonna bring my knees to my chest, and I extend to come up onto my elbow. If I can grab Ronan's wrist, so if I can grab his wrist, we can go into all our sweeps. If I find that Ronan's wrist is out of range and I can't grab it, I come back on my elbow, I put my left foot on his hip, so this acts as a frame. I put my right foot on his bicep, and I use the overhook to bring his head closer to my head. Once this happens, I take a collar tie with my free hand. I put my foot onto Ronan's left hip, switch the collar tie, we take a scoop grip on the left leg, and then we lock up our triangle and get our finish from there. So again, half butterfly, Ronan pressures forward, knee goes to the outside. So we'll do that one more time in real speed. He pressures forward, knee to the outside, we take this overhook. I'm trying to reach up and grab the wrist, but Ronan's keeping his hand away. So what I start to do is I build up onto my elbow, left foot goes onto the hip, right foot goes onto the bicep, and I use this overhook to bring his head close to my head. With my free hand, we're going to take a collar tie. I put the left foot on the hip, and I pinch my knees nice and tight, so I have good control, good connection. I switch the collar tie, so I have a free hand now to use a scoop grip. We create this 90-degree angle, grab the shin, and then we lock up our triangle and get the finish by flexing our calf and pointing our toes towards the ceiling.